Today on the CTV News at 5, clues narrow the search for 2 young men missing in the East Kootenay. Plus, remembering Megan. A community mourns the loss of a young 18-year-old woman. And
we're going to be a team that works hard. We want the fans to leave this rink every night knowing that we gave 100%.
It's official, the Lethbridge Hurricanes have a new bench boss.
CTV News with Jackie Scantlebury.
Good afternoon. The desperate search continues for 2 missing men in the East Kootenay. Stephen Thompson and Nicholas Huffnagels were camping with friends near Canal Flats over the weekend. Thomas lived in the area. Huffnagels is from Cochrane. The 18-year-old and 21-year-old were headed into town on Saturday afternoon, and they haven't been seen since. Search and rescue crews did find a spot where a vehicle went off the road and then rolled down a steep embankment. Items belonging to the men were discovered at the bottom, but there's no other sign of them or their red truck. It's near a fast-moving river, and with the spring runoff, it's too dangerous to send in a dive team.
It's frustrating for us all, to work with the family and not be able to bring something to them. It's, we're all watching, we're all searching, but realistically, it's a very frustrating case, very frustrating to get down and not be able to search as effectively as we'd like to.
A helicopter has been brought in to assess the waterway by air, but spring runoff means area rivers are pretty deep and fast-moving and also very murky right now. Meanwhile, there are also 3 people in serious condition after a 2-vehicle crash on Highway 93-95 near Skookumchuck. An RCMP officer involved in that search for the missing men came upon the crash on his way back into Kimberley last night. A northbound vehicle crossed the center line while negotiating a curve and then hit another vehicle that was heading south. There was a woman trapped in each of the vehicles and a child trapped in the southbound vehicle too. All 3 were airlifted to Calgary.
Liz, an analyst, attended the scene last night and did some examination of the scene. We followed up with the hospital. We do believe that alcohol is involved, and we're certainly pursuing that avenue.
The crash kept the highway closed for about 2 hours last night while police investigated and the vehicles were removed. Hundreds of people gathered in Bow Island today to remember and mourn the loss of Megan Rose, the 18-year-old woman who was hit and killed by a train May 31st. Friends describe Megan as an active young woman who loved school, music, and crafts. Jeanette Rocher reports.
Tears are shed as a small community collectively pauses on a Monday morning to pay tribute to a young woman who touched so many lives.
I've known Megan since she was a baby. Since she was an infant, so it's just really hard for everybody and for the family.
She was so fun to be around. She had amazing positive energy all the time. She reflected on all of us, and
she could seriously brighten your day at any time.
She could brighten your day. I've never seen her upset or mad or anything.
Hundreds gathered at Cherry Cooley Christian Academy to remember the 18-year-old who was tragically hit by a train while crossing the tracks on foot on the morning of May 31st. Witnesses say it appeared she was wearing headphones and reading and wasn't aware the train was approaching.
It's so shocking, first of all, and Megan's such a beautiful child, gone too soon.
But today it's not the tragedy that's being focused on. It's the young woman with the big smile and even bigger heart who volunteered her time in the community and loved playing volleyball. Not only did this small community stop their Monday morning to come and pay respect, but many stepped forward and helped the family pay for the funeral. Karina Roth-Beacom is with 40 Mile Community Resource Services, where Megan spent time as a volunteer. The organization offered to funnel donations to assist the family.
Certainly shows the impact she had. She was a wonderful young lady, big smile, big eyes, willing to help out with the youth in the community where she could. And I think it just shows how the rural communities wrap their arms around people when they're especially in need.
And today, it's the community who will embrace each other while looking for closure and a way to move forward. Jeanette Rocher, CTV News, Bow Island.
The family is asking that memorial gifts in Megan's memory be made to the charity of your choice. Well, after months of investigation, 2 men are facing drug charges after a search at a South Lethbridge home. Officers executed a search warrant at a home along the 800 block of 5th Street South. Inside, they recovered nearly 600 grams of marijuana, a small quantity of narcotics, and some brass knuckles. 33-year-old Justin Gerald Patterson and 34-year-old Lee Ronald Lewis both face drug-related charges. Both made their first court appearance this morning. Also, RCMP and Fort Macleod are investigating a break and enter at a private compound. It happened on Hartley Avenue sometime between May 31st and June the 6th. Officers say thieves made off with more than $10,000 worth of tools and generators. They were likely driving a truck and had a trailer. If you have any information, you're asked to contact RCMP or Crime Stoppers. Well, Lethbridge auctioneer Bob Baylog has been named 2013 Citizen of the Year. It's an honor handed out annually by the Rotary Club of Lethbridge and the Lethbridge Herald.
We thank you for demonstrating in your life and vocation a commitment to helping persons in need here and around the world.
Baylog was named Citizen of the Year for his commitment to the community and support for charities. His family business, Baylog Auction, has involved more than 40 charity auctions every year, supporting organizations like 4-H, Youth Rodeo, the Chinook Regional Hospital Foundation, and many other groups. Baylog says his greatest joy is when a fundraiser goes well, and by helping, he hopes to make Lethbridge and Southern Alberta a better place to live. In addition to being named Citizen of the Year, he was also presented with a key to the city by Lethbridge Mayor Rayco Dodick. University of Lethbridge officials are still trying to determine the extent of the damages caused by last week's flooding. Massive cleanup continues at the University of Lethbridge. Restoration officials have been working around the clock to dry out the library and art center for it. It was caused by a burst water main. The Center for the Arts has reopened. Power, water, life safety systems, and services for the IT departments have all been restored to all of the affected areas. Alberta Health Services has inked a 3-year agreement with the Alberta Association of Midwives. The deal maintains public funding for midwifery services. The agreement will also lead to the formation of a provincial database of midwives. Kathy Galbraith, who trained in the United States and hopes to pursue her Alberta license, says the agreement marks another step forward for midwives and families that want an alternative to hospital delivery.
I feel that birth is a special, even a sacred occasion, and that women should have the option of where that happens, feeling that home is the ideal place for a low stress, a low risk birth.
There are currently about 70 registered and practicing midwives in Alberta, although there are none south of Okotoks. Dory Rossiter's here. We've got showers, sun, and some decent temperatures for the week ahead of Dory.
Well, Jackie, we do have a fairly substantial area of low pressure to the north of the province. It's just a matter of time before that core reaches us. Right now it looks like Thursday, but I'll give you more details in a couple of minutes.
Thanks, Dory. The Canadian Cancer Society's Relay for Life is marking its 75th anniversary this year. But as Brendan Miller reports, a special Southern Albertan girl is also celebrating the occasion.
The clock strikes midnight.
1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you.
For Keely Furby, a sweet 16 she won't soon forget. It was only 2 years ago that Keely was declared cancer-free.
It's a big deal to finally be at 16, to know that I've made it here and I've got through so much to be here.
Keely was just 7 years old when she was first diagnosed with cancer. She missed almost 2 years of school and missed out on many social opportunities during her courageous battle.
It just feels great to know I overcame so much, and I'm really proud of myself for going through what I have, and to know that I'm still standing here and I beat cancer, it feels amazing.
Now she's determined to bring the fight to cancer. Keely and her friends joined hundreds at the Canadian Cancer Foundation's Relay for Life. Her team, named Too Inspired to Be Tired, raised just under $5,000.
Oh, I'm so proud of these girls, and
for them sharing Keely's light, and it just amazes me. And like I said, this is what life's all about.
It was only fitting that the inspirational 16-year-old led the survivor's lap to kick off the 12-hour overnight marathon. Keely says her life's goal is to help other children overcome their own battles with cancer. This summer, she plans to volunteer in the pediatrics unit at Chinook Hospital.
I feel that having been in that situation, I know how hard it is as a kid, and to make it easier for some of those kids would just be really great.
She's just so focused on you know, her dream coming true of being a pediatric oncologist, and she will do it.
But for now, it's also about the dreams any 16-year-old has, celebrating with her friends, getting her driver's license, and discovering her independence. Brendan Miller, CTV News, Lethbridge.
What an amazing young woman. Organizers say their event raised just under $250,000, but donations are still being accepted until November. Some gutsy Southern Albertans helped to raise nearly $40,000 for a disease few of us like to speak about.
There we go.
The Gutsy Walk helped raise money and awareness for inflammatory bowel disease like Crohn's and colitis. The walk took participants around Henderson Lake Park on Sunday. 51 people took part this year. That's up from 26 a year ago. CTV's Daryl Rummold was master of ceremonies, and Dory Rossiter spoke to walkers on behalf of our station. Officials say it's a disease that's getting more and more prevalent and needs to be brought to light.
We need to get awareness out there about intestinal bowel disease, and people need to know that a lot of people have it, and it's not something that we should be putting under the table and not talking about it. It has to be talked about because a lot of people have it in Canada, so it is that important to me.
Donations increased this year by, get this, nearly $14,000. And thousands of people showed up to rock the block this weekend. The fourth annual Rock the Block fundraiser for the Lethbridge Senior Citizens Organization had a country feel this year. The event was held at the park beside the Civic Center. This year, 7 local bands entertained the crowds. And a reminder about a charity baseball game happening tonight at Spitz Stadium. Members of the Lethbridge Regional Police Service and the Lethbridge Fire Department are facing off. Tickets will be available at Spitz Stadium. Doors open 6 p.m. Game kicks off at 7. On to the markets now, where the U.S. stocks ended following Friday's big rally on a mixed note today.